In our last video we looked at Backstage, and now we're going to look at Word options. There are a multitude of options in Word, and this would be a very long video if I went through each one of them one by one. So I'm going to go through the most used or ones you'll be most likely to see on your certification exam, and not every single option. Alright, General tab, you pretty much won't set anything here. Things that might be useful is where you set your username or initials if you want to change them if you're on a corporate network, and it puts your name in backwards or wrong. You can put them in here. This is if you author a document, this is where it gets the author's name from, and you're not required to put anything in there. So if you don't want your name showing on documents you author, take username and initials out. Alright, display, again, not something you'll use often, except it might ask you to turn on background colors. Remember, if I color my page, it will not print the page background color unless I check this box. You might be asked to print hidden text. Now the certification exam actually does a good job of kind of telling you what tab or what item here to look on to find the options. It generally lists the options in order, starting with the first tab and moving down. So it wouldn't have you select an option on the proofing tab, come back to general, then go to save, then go to advanced, etc. It typically goes in order, which makes things easier. Alright, save. There are options that you probably will have to change. One such option is auto recover information every X minutes. Default is 10. This is your documents automatically saved whether you save it or not. Is basically what. So every 10 minutes your document's going to be saved into what's called an auto recover file. It doesn't save your document because that would overwrite what you've done. It would make those changes you made permanent, but it saves an auto recover file in this location. If your computer crashes, more often than not that file is still there and you can recover your work. In fact, Office will, when you reopen Word, it'll ask you, do you want to recover from this file? Alright, default save location you might be asked to change. Embed fonts in this file, you might be asked to check this box. What this does is if I have a font, like let's say I use some crazy font that's typically not installed on your computer, and I send that file to you, and you don't have that font installed, you will not see that font in your document. So if you're using a font that most people wouldn't typically have installed, if you check this box, that font gets embedded in the Word file. Now the downside is the file becomes larger. The upside is they'll see the document the way you intended them to see it, regardless if they have the font installed or not. Language, pretty much we can set the editing or default language. Advanced, as you see, there are a truckload of options here. Various ones that we might see. We might prompt to update style. So when I make a style update, I'll prompt, are you sure you want to do this? Default pasting options. Remember, when we paste something, we get the little contextual icons we can change. If we want to paste, keep the formatting, ditch the formatting, etc., we can change the default behavior of that right here. Use smart copy and paste. This is basically what allows these things to work. The whole idea of let's paste in using source formatting, using kind of changing the text to match. If we turn this off, we get straight copy and paste. Other options, what it means here is if I have a table and paste it, it's going to paste as a table. If I have an image, it'll paste it as an image, and so on. Alright, we can show bookmarks in our document. We can show crop marks on pictures. Right here is an option that you might find useful. How many recent documents do I want to see? If I go over to Backstage View and click Recent, how many do I want to see? How many do I want to quickly access? Put them at the top. And how many folders do I want to see that I've recently been in? What's my default unit of measurement? So I can change my ruler if I wanted to, put it in points, which is 72nd of an inch. Show the scroll bar, show the screen tips. Alright, if I want to print everything in draft quality, I can click there and it'll print everything in draft, which will save ink. You might be asked to print in reverse order, possibly. Now, down here at the very bottom, you might be asked to turn on one of these options. But like I said, the certification exam is pretty clear. If it asks you to turn on an obscure option, it kind of tells you where it is, what tab it's on over here. So you can kind of get a good idea. Also, like I said, it's listed in order. So if it's one of the last options listed, more often than not, it's going to be on the advanced, in the advanced area. Alright, customize ribbon. You probably will not be asked to do this on the certification exam, but you can completely change the way the ribbon looks. You can add new tabs, add new categories, add new buttons, change keyboard shortcuts. You could spend hours playing here. You can also import and export. So if you customize the ribbon just the way you want it, you can export that. So if you have Word at your office, you could import the way you have your ribbon there, or the way you have your ribbon at home, you could take it to your office and import it. So you only have to actually customize it once. If I mess up, I can reset back to defaults. Over here is how I customize keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts, if I point to things on the ribbon, let me cancel out of this. If I point to things on the ribbon and there's a shortcut, you'll see it here. Customize allows me to change those to whatever I want, or add keyboard shortcuts to commands that don't have shortcuts right now. So that's pretty much it for options. Add-ins in the Trust Center you'll probably never touch. Quick Access Toolbar is this toolbar right here, the only toolbar that was saved from the old interface. I can add any command I want to that toolbar, and it adds a button up here for quick access. So there we have Word options, and in our next video we will talk about wrapping things up, give you some practice files to work on, and then we'll talk more about the certification exam. Hope to see you there.